All set, Rob? All right. I'm bringing the meeting to order tonight. Council meeting of September 3rd, 2020, 7 p.m. Suzanne.
Thank you. Mayor Carr.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem LeVar.
Here.
Councilmember Keys.
I'm here, thank you.
Councilmember Neal.
Here.
Councilmember Path.
Here.
Councilmember Zuluaga.
Here. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
We can.
Thank you.
Everybody will rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
America, we love you.
We have one report today under ceremonies, presentations, and appointments, a report from CDOT. Pepper Whitliff. Thank you. If you could state your name and municipality of residence, please.
My name is Pepper Whitliff. It's Whittlef.
Yeah, straight into it.
Okay, it's very sensitive.
You can move it around.
My name is Pepper Whitliff, Whittlef. I'm with CDOT, Region 2. I'm the Traffic Operations Manager. So good evening, Mayor, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members. I really appreciate you having me here tonight. I've been working for the last several months, many months with your staff on some various traffic issues throughout the city. And this is an update for you on all of the efforts that we have been talking about and what we have moving forward. So I have a small presentation, just so I have trouble talking without graphics and without my hands. So this could be tough. Yep. Is there PowerPoint? Okay. All right. All right, thanks so much. X out completely? Okay. All right, first of all, we're going to talk about everyone's favorite traffic signal timing. So everyone knows in this room that getting through your town on US 24 is an absolute nightmare. We have been working for the last several months with a consultant to develop some timing plans that will modify what is out there in the field. The stuff we have out there now is many years old, and you can tell that just driving through town. So first of all, our project goals with this traffic signal timing is one, to move traffic east and west through the city from Morning Sun all the way to Piney Point. The goal is no double stops. So generally, once you turn onto the highway, you're gonna get a stop. Once you get the next green, our goal is to keep you moving through. And if you're entering Woodland Park from either side, our ultimate goal is to get you all the way through without stopping, but that's highly unrealistic. There's generally one stop that you're gonna hit in there, but that's our goal, no more than one stop. Along with that, we are trying to select cycle lengths that clear all of your side street traffic at one time. So as a general rule, we don't want to have traffic waiting for more than one cycle to get onto the highway. And when I mean cycle, I'm talking about when a driver sees it go from green to yellow to red, and then it goes to the other side, green, yellow, red. All of that time together makes one cycle. We're also updating our pedestrian intervals through town so that they meet our minimum new requirements. They're actually a little bit longer. They give pedestrians more time to cross the roadway. And we're using a newer system called Traffic Responsive. So what this system does is we're looking at the main highway, and as traffic volumes increase or decrease, we're gonna change the cycle length. So the lower the cycle length, the more we service your side streets. Those are used when we have less traffic on Highway 24. When we have a lot of traffic on Highway 24, we'll go to longer cycle lengths so we can ensure that movement through town. We'll still work to clear the side street traffic, but it gives us what we call a larger green band to get that east-west traffic through. We're also planning for what we're calling a super cycle that we're going to use during holiday times. And that will only be triggered if traffic volumes are high enough on the main line to kick that super cycle in. So by traffic responsive, we're constantly looking at traffic volumes on US 24, and it has the ability to change cycle length without any interaction from personnel. It's all programmed into the controllers. So it's intended to be very fluent and very dynamic throughout the day as your traffic volumes change throughout town. The last thing with our signal timing is the hawk signal in town. So that was put in a couple years because of some pedestrian crossing issues. And now we're trying to figure out if we should coordinate it or not. And I think the answer is going to be both. I think there are times where we're going to want to coordinate when that traffic signal comes up so that we get that good flow through town. And there are going to be times where we don't necessarily need to. The benefit of coordinating it is our movement through town. The benefit of not coordinating it is to service that pedestrian crossing faster. If we do coordinate it, pedestrians will have to wait a little bit longer. The hawk won't be as responsive to a button push as it is now, so they'll have to wait. And what I found over time is that if you make them wait too long, they're just going to cross anyway, right? So we have to find that balance on when we should be coordinating it and when we should not be. And we have the ability to actually monitor how many times the button is pushed. And we're going to use that system, that mechanism in our system to kind of make that call in comparison with the volumes on 24. So we don't know the actual answer to that yet. We're still working on it. So this is moving very, very quickly. My maintenance team is down here. You may have seen them. They're working on a lot of the detection at each intersection. And we plan on implementing these timing plans the week of September 29th. So that's coming up very quickly. So you will see during that week, we will implement all the plans, and that entire week, we actually have a crew here that will be driving the corridor, and we make tweaks to each timing plan so that maybe we need to service a side street longer, or maybe we need to give one left turn a little bit more green time. So we'll be making those tweaks over about a week's period, and then we let them kind of sit, and then we'll come back in another couple weeks and do the same thing. The next thing we've been working on with your staff is, this is the intersection of US 24. Can you guys see that mouse? Okay, and 67. So the traffic concern that was brought to us was traffic making a right turn from this number 1 lane onto Walnut. And then also us having yield signs right here when this is actually an added lane. So the solution that we're proposing is a couple different things. One, remove the yield signs, add in the added lane signs, prohibit a right turn onto Walnut. So if you want to go to Walnut, you're going to have to go, if you wanted to go to this business or maybe this business as you're coming from 24 here, you're going to have to go up and around the block because this movement is causing some traffic issues. So we've been working with your police department on that. They provided us some accident information, and that's our proposed solution at this time. The traffic engineer for the region has approved this, and I've been working with your staff. I think your staff is on board for this as well. The next thing that we've been working on is State Highway 67. So 2 things. We are having a very difficult time keeping our white lane lines visible throughout the year. You can make that right turn onto 67 and they're obliterated. So we're gonna try a more durable product for all of the white on 67 between 24 and Evergreen Heights. It's a tape product that is glued down, and we've had really good luck with it, even in our winter areas that have a lot of snow plows and a lot of sand. So I'm hoping that will get us 3 years of life, continual life, out of a marking rather than us trying to repaint every year. The next concern on 67 was traffic approaching Evergreen Heights. So there are 2 lanes. If you can all picture 2 lanes, you're going northbound, and the number 2 lane, which is this one right here, has to make a right turn movement onto West County Road. Well, we don't give you very much notice. So we're gonna pull the notice back to, I wanna say this road is
It's Lake.
Lake?
I think it is, yeah.
Okay. It's about 600 feet in advance of the traffic signal. And we're gonna start with some different markings. We're gonna use some different signage, some additional signage. And then we're gonna use the words only, so that we're trying to tell, especially like campers, real slow moving people that aren't in this area, that you gotta get over quickly, because you're wanting to go through, not make a right turn. I think that'll really help. What we have out there is very minimal. The next concern that we've been working with the police department on is US 24. This is Troll Road, and this is Paradise Circle. So we have all of these businesses along here with driveways. And right now, once you get in this lane, the expectation is that you turn right into that driveway. You get in this lane and you have to turn right into the driveway. It's not that you can drive all the way through up to Paradise Circle. However, 95% of people drive it like that. So we're gonna create an actual auxiliary lane so that people can in fact use this lane how it's being used today. So as you turn onto Troll Road, you can either accelerate all the way to Paradise Circle and make a right turn. You can enter the westbound through lanes on 24. If you are in the westbound through lanes on 24, you can enter clear back here to make a right turn on Paradise Circle. So that does a couple things. One, it increases the amount of capacity we have on our highway so that people can get over sooner and use that extra space. What I found in other situations where we've used these, drivers coming out of the driveways now, some are expecting people to turn right into the driveways, some are not. When you're not sure if they're gonna turn right, that's when we have a conflict that happens. So I'm thinking you're gonna turn right, so I'm gonna pull out in front of you, and lo and behold, you're not turning right, and we're gonna crash. So that helps to slow things down a little bit in this segment, this right turn lane. This has been successfully used in a lot of locations where we have driveways entering a major road like this. So I think it will work. Do you have a question?
I do.
Sure.
So I'm in Troll Road.
Uh-huh.
From Morning Sun.
Yeah,
That's already, you can drive all the way
you can.
to the chalet.
Yes,
Which is Troll Road.
yes.
At this point. So now you can go from Morning Sun to Walgreens or Paradise Circle in that right lane.
No, so we are separating 2 points of access. So we're going between public roads. So Morning Sun to Troll will look the way it is now. That's how this new segment between Troll and Paradise Circle is intended to look.
Okay, that helps me, thank you.
And if we find that this does not work very well, we can change it back when the overlay project comes through here. But I think you guys will find that this is a much better solution than what we have out there right now.
I agree. Thank you.
Oh, there's my proposed solution. All right, this is US 24 and Pikes Peak. We recently reinstalled, we had a bay, a left turn bay that was striped off, and then Pikes Peak was built. There's a coffee shop here now, and you couldn't turn left out of this bay that existed there. You had to turn out of the through lane legally. I don't think anybody was, but we have recently completed this project. Oh, deer signing. I know this is a favorite topic. We have been, Woodland Park has, across our region, you guys have the most deer hits that we have in our records. So we're using records, our accident reports. We actually have what's called a roadkill report. And then we use observations to, and observation and the environmental data that shows the migration patterns. So we're using that information, and we have concluded that Woodland Park is our hotspot. I think you guys already knew that, for deer hits. So we're looking really actively at a couple locations on US 24 and on 67. And what we're trying to do is get away from our standard deer signs, you know, the diamond signs that nobody pays attention to anyway. And we're looking at trying to pinpoint areas that we need to call out extra attention to. So I've shown on here just kind of an idea of one of the things that we're looking at. So it would be actually signing a segment of roadway with a much higher level of awareness, driver awareness, than what we give them now. Right now we use the deer sign and we'll say, like, you know, next 7 miles or something. And it's simply not effective. If this doesn't seem to help us, we would start adding stuff like LED flashers above it. And those would be turned on at certain times of the year. We wouldn't want to flash them all the time, only when we are truly having an issue, right? We've been trying to use our permanent VMS signs. However, our message keeps getting kicked off for other emergency things. So we're still looking at portable variable message signs across the nation. That has proven to be one of the best ways to get drivers' attention, because it's something new that's in their visual path that they haven't seen before. And it really calls attention to specific areas. There's a lot of, you know, I weigh having our maintenance crews pull those out there, set them up for a while, versus having them, you know, clean up dead carcasses. So in my mind, it's not, it's doable. I don't control those maintenance people. So it's trying to work with them to figure out a way to get them to help us move out portable message boards. Right now, we haven't been very successful in that, but that is really probably our favorite solution for some of your very severe areas, especially east of town. There's between probably Trout Creek and maybe just beyond Piney Point. That's one of our biggest areas. So we're still working on that with our maintenance, but we are meeting with, I think we're meeting with Darren and someone else on next Wednesday. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna get a tour of some areas, so. And then we have quite a few upcoming projects within the next couple of years. I think you guys have been waiting very patiently for a traffic signal at Kelly and 67. Those bids open September 17th, so that's in a couple weeks. And then construction will begin in December. So it generally takes probably about 10 months to build a traffic signal. It takes getting those poles. Once they're ordered, it takes 10 to 16 weeks to actually get the traffic signal poles. So it's not a real complicated project. It just takes a long time to get equipment. And then there is an overlay planned for US 24 through Woodland Park. They're starting on the design of the ADA ramps. So they'll come through and they'll replace all of the ADA ramps on 24 that are non-compliant. And that sets them up for an overlay in spring or summer of 2023. So with that overlay, you would get all new pavement markings, you'll get all new crosswalks, arrows, the school signs. And actually, next year we'll be doing the signing through Woodland Park. All of your signing will be upgraded through this particular area. So that is the last of my slides. Do you guys have any questions for me? I'm sure you do.
I have a quick one on
Sure.
the light timings. So do you feel that the intersection at Walmart, which backs up in heavy traffic times, particularly on the weekends, with like a big gap out from it, coming from the northbound, going on the northbound lane, you think that the timing will be able to clear that up and relieve some of that?
I think we're going to have a really good possibility. The timing, the cycle lengths that we're running today are only about 90 seconds. So that doesn't give you a very big green band to clear traffic through. When I came into town this morning, the problem point seemed to be Aspen Circle, and it was backed up almost to Morning Sun. And it's a really short cycle for the US 24 traffic. So being able to go to a longer cycle length allows us to move more traffic on 24.
Does your system presently allow variable timings?
Yes.
To hit heavy areas?
Yes. All of our traffic signals, should things be working correctly, allow the controller to change the amount of green time that we give to each movement. So if we clear a queue of 5 cars in 10 seconds, we want to get back to the next movement as soon as possible. And usually that next movement is going to be the main street. So we don't want to be resting on the side street or resting in a left turn when there's no traffic there.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Not a question, just a comment. Excuse me. Ms. Whitleff, on behalf of Joe Fury, John DeVoe, Sally Riley, and 26 citizens that I have actually their name, I want to thank you for taking the time to come up and give this information. You've been doing a lot behind the scenes with Darren. I learned when Joe first made the telephone call to me, and I started trying to find out this information, going to these different sources. So you've been doing a lot of work that we just didn't know about. And I hope all of the people, and I'm talking to you out there, the citizens of Woodland Park, I hope you all appreciate Pepper. I want to go by your first name.
That is actually my real name.
Giving us this information. I think this is the most appreciated piece of information I've actually heard from the citizens' perspective in 2 years, because this Highway 24 is just such a controversial and difficult topic. Thank you very much.
Well, I would like to thank your staff. They've been very gracious with their time and with their information, and it really helps to build a partnership, I think, between us and the city, because we want to be your partner in this. It's not a state coming in and doing that. I've been on the city side of things, and I appreciate the partnership that we have going forward so far. Thank you.
Mayor, we have a question from Councilmember Zuluaga.
Councilmember Zuluaga, you're up.
Pepper, thank you. Great presentation. Can you talk a little bit about the light at Kelly Road? Is that going to include road work to the south of Kelly Road? Because folks coming down that hill in the winter have pretty big culverts on either side of the road.
The project that's bid right now only includes the signalization of that intersection. I believe that Woodland Park has, do you want to speak to that? I don't want to misspeak.
Thanks, Kip. A couple years ago, council approved the design from Evergreen Heights to the north to Kelly's. And that design has been done, and we've given that design to CDOT for any future improvements.
So, Kip, is that when is that design going to roll out?
That design's done and in their hands. It's completely up to CDOT when they have funding to make those improvements.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Council? Oh, Councilmember Pat.
I just want to say I'm the chief of staff for the House Republican Caucus up in Denver. So we sat down with the governor and leaders, and I'm just grateful for what's happening through CDOT, because there's a lot of cantankerous partisanship taking place up in Denver right now. But nonetheless, the one bright area, which a lot of people didn't expect, was getting a new director of CDOT. And I think we see a lot of these types of things starting to happen. So appreciate
that effort, and it's been a vast improvement over at least recent years. And that initiative like this in towns our size and smaller that are absolutely necessary and have neglected for some time.
You're absolutely right. And my group has these, do these little small projects in-house. So, I mean, did contract our signal timing, all the things. So what I'm if that's really how you and I know a lot of citizens on concern, I think there's a better way.
Line delineation of that.
Or the around on it, 67, that's gonna be a dull white line. And it's actually gonna be that red sign that prohibits you from making that right turn. Actually, the road will be all the way out, 104.
So even from Golden Hill Place out, the yellow line thing is your traffic miles. So it goes back to people.
C suspect was.
Dropping the back.